What's good, people? What's good, people? Big Rich here from the Big Rich Live on the Mike Radio Show, and welcome to this installment to What's the Real Deal. End of the week, y'all. Hope that everything was prosperous for you guys. You guys got to do everything that you needed to do to make this world a better place. You know how we do, each one teach one. Before we even start, if you could hit that subscribe button, like, share, and subscribe on the channel, like and share this video to your social media platforms, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram. I would really appreciate it. I thank everybody who has been a subscriber. Some of you guys have been here since the beginning. June 1st, which we're now in July. I'm sorry, June 5th of this year, which is last month. We went over the 12-month plateau, and I think this is like 141, 140 videos. And that's nothing compared to a lot of these other shows. You know, a lot of these other shows have thousands upon thousands of videos. I just don't have the time. Not that I don't want to do it, but I just don't have the time to do 3, 4, 5, 6 videos a week. You know, 4 videos is pushing it for me. But, you know, we try to do what we got to do, and I try to answer you guys' questions and try to give my expertise, my opinions on different avenues and areas, and try to really be as transparent as I possibly can when I try to explain certain things and I give my opinion. I don't take that lightly. I don't take the responsibility that I have chose to take lightly. And, you know, we just keep doing what we're doing and try to do it to the best of our ability. And again, I appreciate everybody, even the haters. You know, I think one video last week got one thumbs down. No comment, no comment, negative comment, but I had a thumbs down. Some people like what you're doing and some people don't, you know. So this we're going to talk about, basically we're going to expound on a show that we did a couple of weeks ago, and it was titled Colorism. And this is basically our responsibility as African Americans, not only to ourselves, but to our people, to the world as a whole. And this is how we allow to be put forth through the lens of media, through the lens of film and photography. I was chopping it up a couple of days ago. We were talking about just positive figures that you see on a regular basis. And nobody really it wasn't any consistency. Like, it wasn't any consistent film or program or anchor, if you will, that our people, African American, black people, can say, hey, that person always has our back. That person always is put in a positive light. And even when they're in a negative light, it's in a film, but it's drama. You know what I'm saying? It's suspense. It's never you're in a negative light to destroy or displace the race, if you will. But on the other end, when we was asking for ratchetness, people couldn't stop. Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, the Housewives of Atlanta, you know, all of this, all the Bachelorette now, all of this. And I know a lot of my Caucasian subscribers, even them that follow me on Twitter, you know, why is it always got to be a race thing? And why you always got to bring this up? And what you say is this. You say everything in this country is based on race. Everything, where you live, where you work, how much you make, who you can marry, it's all based on race. All, you know, how you get treated in the justice system. All of it is based on the color of your skin. It's your ethnic origin, you know, sometimes your sexual orientation. I had one Caucasian subscriber who said, well, look, there's just as many ratchet white shows that show white females acting stupid, like the Beverly Hills, the Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then you got that one that's the Housewives of Potomac and some old crazy shit, right? And my retort back to him was, that's true. But then you have positive shows to offset that. So you can watch, so as a Caucasian person, you can watch the Housewives of Potomac or the Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's a guilty pleasure, if you will, for you. If you want to see something positive, you go to the Learning Channel, and most of the shows are about Caucasians, about what they were supposedly or allegedly developed and discovered and all that type of stuff, you know? But you can't name, you know, it's sad that people still bring up the Cosby Show in a different world. That was when I was a kid. I'm 49. That was in 86. That was in the 80s. But you put these, and the things is this, you know, I can't stand, well, let me back up. My wife is highly intelligent, went to college, been a business owner, entrepreneur for damn near 30 years. One of the smartest people that I know that do not have a quote unquote college diploma. Okay. That's how intelligent she is. But that's all she watches. Or not all that's what, but that's the most that she watched. Power, Empire. I don't know. I don't want her to kill me. She don't watch Empire. But Power and the Atlanta Housewives and all this other stupidness, right? And she was like, that's her guilty pleasure. Now, she is not somebody who will get indoctrinated or think that that's what all black people do, because she doesn't do that. She's a professional, and she just does it because she laughs and she shakes her head. But unfortunately, what I was trying to tell her was, unfortunately, that is not the reaction the vast majority get when they see that. We're all put into that. And it's gotten to the point that I can't even be in the same room and hear that, because it's nonsense. You have 4 to 5 beautiful, beautiful and intelligent black women of all shades. I can't tell you which names are with this and whatever, but one has a lawyer, has an ex-model, has an entrepreneur. They making their money. You know, they're in the quote unquote in crowd, but all they show is them either with bum ass dudes, breaking up with this person or that person, and trying to get at each other in a negative way. Arguing and screaming and fussing and fighting. And there is not one of you that can sit there and be like, hey, look, excuse my French, but fuck the bullshit. Bitch, you worth $500,000. I'm worth $250,000. Bitch, you worth $1 million. Let's sit down and let's put this shit together and see if we can rock this. But see, that is not what the producers, not the people who own it, the people in the dominant society that are in the 1% that are running this, that is not the picture that they want to put forth. They want to put forth the ratchetness, the arguing, the bullshit. How do you sit up there on one side, say, I need to be treated like a woman, I'm a professional, I'm a G, all of this old stupidness? First of all, that's another thing I'll get back on that OG status, because that was sort of stupid. But anyway, you know, I'm this, I'm that, but every time I turn around, I hear you cursing worse than me. There's no professionalism in you at all. There is no positive reinforcement of people who are coming behind you. It is all the ratchetness. It is all, I'm 50. You know, I had to scratch and claw. Now you're 24. I think that you need to capitulate to me. No. You didn't have your time. You didn't brought it up. Bring this person along. And this person doesn't have to capitulate to you. They should show you reverence. They should show you respect, but they don't have to capitulate. You're at, you're not at the bottom, but your star is crescendoed, and now you're on the way down. Have some dignity. So it's no, I mean, when my wife told me, oh, well, she's a lawyer and her husband is a producer, and she's a model. She just got divorced and her husband was a doctor and all. You would never know. You would never know, ever, because all you see is this backbiting, and other bullshit. And that goes to what we say about, or what is coming out with like Survivor and other stuff like that. These producers purposely put people who they know will not get along to bring drama. So we're the sheep, and I put myself in it because I don't watch it. I used to watch one reality show, American Chopper, and I loved it because it was a father and son thing, and the motorcycles that they put out was awesome. But I used to turn the channel when they used to argue. I mean, yell and scream and all that. I'm like, dude, what? Do you know that there's cameras here? You have to conduct yourself in a professional manner at all times. Anytime I don't care if it's bikes, cars, planes, whatever. If I look at it, because I enjoy that type of stuff. I'm not a DIY person. I'm not. I hate putting stuff together. Can I put it together? Yeah, but I'm not really that handy with my hands. Okay? But I love that. I love to watch shows where they're building from wood, or they've restored a car or a bike. I love watching that. But as soon as I see some arguing, backbiting, and ratchetness, I'm done. I'm finished with that. But again, American Chopper was a white show. So if you didn't like that, you can go over to, what's that? Pickers, right? If you like Storage War and didn't like the way when Woody and all them was getting all crazy, then you go to Storage Wars in Texas. They wasn't fighting like that. You have a opportunity. You have a plethora. As a Caucasian, you have a plethora of things that represents certain aspects of your community, of your race. Yes, there are ratchetness in the African American community. You could see it on all of those shows. But where are the people out here that are running charter schools where the graduation rate, when you stay the 4 years and you don't move away, but the graduation rate is almost 100%. 100% of the kids who graduate go to a 4-year college. Where's the reality shows of that? Do you still have some ratchetness? Yes, because you got kids, and when you have more than two people in any situation, there tends to be some type of ratchetness that goes on every now and again. But where are those shows? You have people out here of African descent that are doing big things. Not just positive things, big things. But they're never put on there. Never. But when you find somebody's doing some bullshit, when you got these people out here that want to yell and scream, she was watching one episode, and a female, now in a restaurant, first of all, they're in a restaurant, in public. They yelling and screaming like they got no fucking sense whatsoever. To the point where one of the females had to be escorted out. How do you do that? How do you do that? But yet and still you call yourself a professional. You say you're a grown woman. You follow what I'm saying? But again, if there was a yin to the yang, where the people who are like me, who I feel that I'm very conscious, and I'm trying to promote a positive outlook, acknowledging the ratchet portion of people who are in my community, in my race. But I also want equally, if not more, because you go by percentages. There are a whole lot more African-American people of African descent that are doing big things in a positive way than there are these ratchet things, these ratchet areas, these ratchet shows. But again, we flock to them. My wife wants me to watch Power. I love the star power. I think he is awesome. 50 Cent is cool. He's okay. But I just can't bring myself to watch that because it's all based on a stereotype that to get somewhere in life as an African American, you must deal drugs. Are there people who have dealt drugs in the past and now they have parlayed that, they've laundered their money and they parlayed that to a positive recording studio or gym or bar or a couple of barbershops? Of course. Of course. You got to get in where you can fit in. And again, I'm not disparaging that. But if all you have is that, think about the black shows. Power. What's the one on Fox? The one with Taraji P. Henson. It'll come to me. I know some of y'all's is saying it. But how do you name one that's positive? Now, a lot of people say Blackish. Well, Blackish is more of a comedy. You know what I'm saying? Again, you know, it tackles some things, you know, it tackles some serious issues, but it's always in a comic relief or comedic background. Same thing with Marlon Wayne's new show. Yes, it's an African-American family, but it is not based on our reality. It is based on his reality, but it's not based on our reality. And if that's all you have, you know, so, okay, so if I want to watch something with people who look like me, I either got to watch this ratchet shit or I got to watch comedy. I don't watch anything else. You know, nothing. Even Tyler Perry's, not Think Like a Man, Married Once or something like that. Something like that. Now it's on. It used to be, I want to say it was on TBS. My wife said it was never on TBS, but I think it was on TNT or TBS. I think it was TBS. Now they've moved into the wife possibly cheating on the husband. I mean, you know, hey, I got skeletons in my closet also. I'm not saying, but again, if that's all you have, if that's all, you know, where is the, hey, we gonna do this together. We didn't got together, because there are plenty black couples, plenty of African-American, black and brown couples that are powered, that they've done things to build a network, and it's not based on lies and cheating and stupidness like that. Yes, that's part of life. It is. And that's what my wife always said, well, it's part of life. Yes, it is part of life, but it's not part of all of our lives. So what happens? So, okay. And even if I say, okay, I'm going to give you that it is part of life. Okay. Well, where is the sitcom or where is the documentary that shows this part of our lives, which is a part of life, which is the loving husband and wife building something together, raising their kids, dealing with these types of things, going over the homework, you know, going to baseball practice and stuff like that. Where is that? Where is it? Is there? But if you look at shows that are on now that we frequent and we help perpetuate and hold up, Empire, that was the show with Taraji P. Henson. That's all you see. I've always said this before. I don't know if I've said it on any of the shows. I think I might have. But if you have a person who's never been to the United States, come to the United States and sit in front of the TV for 24 hours, he or she will think, again, without using common sense, just going by what they see. They would think that Caucasian Americans made everything, have everything, run everything. Everybody else is a distant second. Everybody else didn't do shit. And the people that are here are black and brown, are lazy, don't want to learn the language, are all the ones using the abortion clinics, and are the majority at the SNAP or the Assistance Bureau. And all of that is false. All of it is false. But from what you see, you know, it's just crazy. It really is. It's just crazy. And I don't know how to change it, because you cannot expect the dominant society as a whole to speak the truth all of a sudden because then you have to, in order to speak the truth all of a sudden, then you have to admit that the past was based on lies, misleading omissions, and untruths. So you're not going to do that. And then you're not going to expect your oppressors to downgrade themselves and lift up you. It just doesn't work that way. So this is what kills me, is when we can't get together to do nothing. I mean, there's an old saying, but you can't get a bunch of black people together to agree on shit. Nothing. We have enough millionaires in this country to have a charter school in every major city in this nation. You have enough African-American millionaires I'm just talking about just NFL, NBA. That's it. I'm not talking about the scholars, the doctors, the realtors, the CEO. I'm not talking about that. We'll throw them in a little later. But I'm just talking about, you have 32 NFL teams, 30 NBA teams. Most of the teams are in, most of the teams that are in the cities have both franchises. You follow what I'm saying? So the NFL has the San Francisco 49ers and they have the Golden State Warriors. San Francisco 49ers plays the Santa Clara, and the 49ers play in Santa Clara, and the Golden State Warriors are building something in San Francisco, just outside of San Francisco, right? So you look at, let's say Colin Kaepernick, when he was there, he was making like $13 million, right? For that 1 year, just 1 year. Steph Curry was making more than that. Right now, Steph Curry is going to make between $30 and $40 million a year, right? It don't take but maybe $2 million, $2-3 million to outsource some stuff, put together some stuff, just to start it. Really and truly, if you talk to Dr. Steve Perry, who runs multiple schools with Sean Puffy Combs in Bridgeport, Connecticut, New York, Holland, that type of stuff, he says you don't need no money unless you want to build your building. You don't need any money. You get into a partnership with a mega church or a big church that has a classroom, and you start from there and you move on up. The city has to pay you the money that they would have paid the public school system. They got to pay you to educate these kids. So if you think about that, and I'm just using Steph Curry's because he was the most notable person on the team. And I think he's still more noticeable than Kevin Durant, even though I think Kevin Durant is a little better paid, but it is what it is. But just look on the Golden State Warriors team. You got Klay Thompson making 16, 17 million. Draymond Green making 16, 17, 18 million. Kevin Durant making over 20 million. Steph Curry making over 20 million, right? Each one of them put up $1 million a year. $1 million a year, which they can write off on their taxes. That's $4 million. That's just from them. That's not the Andre Iguodala who has made, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 million dollars in his career. That's not including all of the San Francisco 49ers players, the African American players that have made millions of dollars over the year. Just those four. That's $4 million in a pot to open up a school in an impoverished, not even in a black neighborhood, period. $4 million just to start with. Just to start with a year. And then it starts paying for itself. It's not a business venture. It's not something that you're going to get rich for. But what you do is you get rich because you get rich and giving back to people who look like you. And again, I must reiterate this. I am not putting this all on NBA and NFL players. But what we all know is when much is given, much is required. Period. If you're in a position where you are required to do for what's least of these. But we want to go out. And again, I know a lot of people, Dr. Boyce Watkins and the rest of them, they talk about, these guys are here going broke, getting, like Mayweather buying a $3.9 million car just to sit around. I think it's some type of Bugatti or something like that. I'm not going to sit up here, and I don't think too many people can honestly put their hand on the Bible, if that's what you believe, and actually say if they was to come into 3, 4, 500 million, they would not splurge on themselves. I think that would be a lie. But after you get what you need to get, then you need to reach back and be like, okay, what can I do? I'm not going to give no money to education. Look at Chance the Rapper. And I know this is going off on a little tangent, but it still brings it back into what I'm saying as far as how things are perceived, how things are being put out about us. Chance the Rapper gave $1 million to the Chicago school system. He could have took that $1 million and opened up a charter school in Chicago. You follow what I'm saying? You give $1 million. I know his heart was in the right place, but you give $1 million to a failing system, to a system that you know is failing kids that look like you, excuse me. So this goes off on a little tangent, but let's just rein it back in and see how we as a people have to demand more. And you know how you demand more? You don't frequent that. That's just like the Stockholm syndrome. You keep going into a place, a convenience store, a gas station, and they treat you like shit, overprice everything. They price gouge the hell out of you, throw you out at every chance they get to get, but you keep going there. You know how you change that? You and the whole community don't go. Because either one or two things are going to happen. A, they're going to change up. Or B, they're going to go out of business, and then somebody else is going to come and take that property, and they're going to understand, hey, you know, these last people over here, they treat us like shit. They tried to price gouge us. We did not frequent them. And if you start the same shit, we're not going to frequent you either. That's what other communities do to keep your ass out. You think you can go into other communities and open up some shit? You think you can open up a fried chicken joint in the middle of Little Vietnam or Little Haiti? You could try if you want to. Everybody's not going to fail. There's always an exception to the rule, but the overwhelming majority will not fail. Why? Will fail. Why? Because they won't frequent you. They want to make sure that their money stays in the community and it goes to people who look like them. So I know, like I said, I went on a little tangent and stuff like that, but it's all intertwined. It really is. It's all connected in what we do as a people. And we really need to clean our own house, because like I said, we fighting on three fronts. We fighting the dominant society, been fighting them for 450 years. We fighting the ratchet people who are on these shows, who swear that they're the best thing since sliced bread, but they don't see what we see. They don't see that they're being manipulated and looking like assholes. And then you have the coons who want to stay up and lay up under massa and want to maintain and prop up the system of white supremacy. They will shoot you down because you trying to overturn a system that they have capitulated in or capitulated to. So, you know, it's a hard fight. It's a hard fight. There's no one clear answer. It's a hard fight. But let me tell you this. We can do it. We're extraordinary people. 450 years have shown it. From the mid-passage slavery to Jim Crow to redlining to mass incarceration, the bullshit war on drugs. You know, the constant slaps in the face, the looks, the killings, from lynchings to quote unquote authorized police shootings of us when we're unarmed. We're still here. We have survived. So you have to think that way. That's what you have to do. You have to think that, hey, I'm here for a purpose, and it's not to be the road, the welcome mat or the dust mat for white supremacy. It's just not. Okay, it just can't be that way. But we have to check our own people. We have to check the way they do things, because we need to let them understand that, hey, you grown, you can do what you need to do, but you need to understand that you are hurting the whole to try to get something that you getting. Because let me tell you something, contrary to popular belief, if you look at all them broads that are on these shows that we started out, they're not getting no real money from the show. Yeah, granted, if they're really pretty, because some of them drop dead gorgeous, yeah, they'll get modeling gigs. Yeah, they'll get, you know, if they find out you're a lawyer, okay, you know, I'm not saying that they get no benefits whatsoever, but it's not like they making big dollars. It's not like they on Seinfeld, like Seinfeld was making, I don't know, damn near $1 million a episode or something like that. I know David Hasselhoff, that's not Tom Selleck, they were saying that he was making, you know, $750,000 an episode, and he insisted that it was shot in Hawaii and all of that type of stuff, right? It's not like you making big dollars. Like every time you come to payday, they hand you a $300,000, $400,000, $600,000, $700,000 check for that episode. It just doesn't happen. So if that's the case, why are you doing this? Are you that fucked up in the head that this is all that you could do? I don't know. So that's the end of my show. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to try. I think I have to work this week. I'm not too sure. But I will see you guys here next Friday for the next installment of What's the Real Deal. And if I'm not mistaken, hopefully if everything works out, tomorrow on Big Rich Live on the Mic to Saturday edition. So in the meantime, in between time, stay blessed, stay safe, stay woke. Peace. I'm out.